Hi. Hi, I'm Steve Hendricks, and I'm going to be reading Running Rhino, written by Mwani Hadatha and Adrian Kiwani did the illustrations. So let's begin. On the great African plain, Rhino was running. Rhino was so short-sighted, he ran at anything that moved. When Rhino ran, all the animals had to get out of his way. By the rushing river, Crocodile got covered in mud as Rhino raced through the shallow water. In the great forest, Bush Pig ran for cover as Rhino rushed under the trees. And on the dry and dusty plain, Tick Bird got knocked out of her nest as the Rhino ran by. In the shade of the umbrella tree, Lion got covered in dust as Rhino came to a sudden stop. "Rhino, you cannot go on running about like this," said Lion. "Everyone wants you to stop." "I don't want to," said Rhino, "and I won't. I challenge anyone to stop me." "Then a challenge it is," agreed Lion. "I will call a meeting of the animals." All the animals gathered on the great African plain. "Rhino has called for a challenge," announced Lion. "Who wants to stop him running?" The animals stayed silent. Even Elephant didn't want to challenge Rhino in his long, sharp horn. "I will challenge Rhino," said Tick Bird quietly. All the animals looked at Tick Bird in surprise. "If I win," said Tick Bird, "Rhino must go and live on the steep, stony slopes and leave us all in peace." "If I win," snorted Rhino, "I will run and run even more." "And what is your challenge?" Tick Bird asked Lion. "I challenge Rhino to a fight at sunrise tomorrow," said Tick Bird. The animals all opened their eyes very wide. "Ah, that is silly," Rhino snorted. "You can bring 100 friends to help you and you still won't win. But I only need 3 friends to beat you," said Tick Bird. That evening, Rhino began to worry. Who would Tick Bird's 3 friends be? Down by the rushing river, he met Crocodile and Hippo and Python. "Has Tick Bird asked you for help?" "No, we haven't even seen her," they replied. In the great forest, Rhino met Giraffe and Buffalo and Elephant. "Has Tick Bird asked you for help?" he said. "No, we haven't even seen her," they replied. Rhino stopped worrying and went to sleep. The next day, all the animals gathered on the great African plain. The sun was showing, but Tick Bird was nowhere to be seen. "Of course Tick Bird isn't coming," Rhino snorted. "She is too scared." But just then Tick Bird arrived. She was carrying 3 tiny gourds. "The sun is rising. The challenge begin," announced Lion. Rhino stamped and puffed loudly and rushed at Tick Bird with a massive snort. Tick Bird tipped over one of the little gourds and out came Mosquito. Mosquito flew to Rhino and bit him on his nose. "Ow!" yelled Rhino, skidding to a halt. "Do you give up?" called Tick Bird. "No," snorted Rhino. Tick Bird emptied the second gourd and out came Bee. Bee stung Rhino on his ears and his tail. "Ouch!" yelled Rhino, running around in circles. "Do you give up?" called Tick Bird. Never, snorted Rhino. Then Bird tipped over the last gourd and out came Ant. Ant crawled up Rhino's leg and bit him behind the knee, under his tummy, and even on his horn. Stop it, I give up, yelled Rhino, rolling in the dust to try and stop the dreadful itching and tickling. Bird wins, announced Lion to the cheering crowd. Now Rhino must live on the steepy stone slopes and leave us in peace. Rhino stomped off, all itchy and scratchy and cross, but Bird flew after him. I will sit here on your back now and then, said Bird kindly, and I will peck you to show you I'm here, and I will always warn you if there is danger. Frumph, puffed Rhino. Then you won't have to run all over the place all the time. Agreed, said Bird. Agreed, snorted Rhino. And nowadays, Rhino wanders by himself on the steep, stony slopes. He still wants to run at anything that moves, but Bird sits on his back and gives Rhino a tiny peck. Then Rhino calms down and carries on, happily eating grass.